These finance ministers came into this summit buoyed by a renewed sense of optimism that maybe Europe can finally get a grip on a crisis that began in Greece and has now infected European banks and, crucially, infected confidence across the rest of the world. They've endorsed a series of measures, a series of big measures, the main idea being to expand Europe's rescue fund beyond the lending capacity it currently has of some 440 billion euros so that it can encompass countries like Italy and Spain, big economies, should they run into trouble. And yet divisions still remain here, notably who ultimately pays for this Eurozone crisis. That was a position best summed up by the Australian Treasurer.
Well, it has to get its act together. The rest of the world stands willing to assist. It's very important for the IMF to be adequately resourced. But this has been going on for 18 months, so now's not a time for half measures, not a time for blame shifting. It's time for Europe to get its act together on the 23rd of October when the leaders meet.
So Wayne Swan was articulating that reluctance there shared, not just by Australia, but the United States, that Europe shouldn't look to institutions like the International Monetary Fund to expand its own resources and pay for Europe, but it should very much sort out its own problem. That said, these G20 finance ministers can help a little bit with the Eurozone. They've endorsed a series of concrete measures, nuts and bolts measures, to try and regulate the markets a little bit and stop volatility with key commodities like oil, for example, as well as asking countries like China, the world's big factory, to maybe just produce a little less and consume a little more to help Europe's exporters. Those remain big themes though, and they'll have to wait for another summit. It's all, for now, about solving the Greek problem.